All right, we're going to run Sunken Sewer times 2 on one skull. As always, bring the higher and then bring out my 3 big buffs. And I'm just going to peek around the corner here and see if there's any Reapers I can see. I don't see any. The reason is I'd get a haste boost if there was any. But I think we're good. So I'll let them come to me. All right, so for this next part, I'm going to do a few things. All right, I don't have this in my hotbar, but I'm going to add bracers, and then I have uh, hmm, there they are. I had these bracers proof against poison +1. This claims that it gives immunity to natural poisons. This is a natural poison, but I'm not sure if I'm buying that it works entirely, so I'm gonna still try to be careful. And then this cloak here gives me poison resistance 13, so that'll reduce poison damage by 13. So I'm gonna temporarily equip that cloak when I go through this next trap, which you may, if you saw the video on normal and hard, is really, really tough video. And then I'm going to ask my hireling to kind of stand here so he doesn't run the trap and die. As far as I know, yeah, it says there does not seem to be a way to disrupt this their flow, and that's the hint that you can't disable it. So the only way around this is timing. So I'm going to take this poison potion. It gives me a little bit of protection. Then I'm going to try to time my jumps, and you can see I made my save there. Um, so even though it looked like nothing hit me, it's really hard to time it. All right, so I'm gonna get my other items back, and I'm gonna just these guys are up high, so I'm just gonna grab my bow out, and even though my DPS is beyond horrible with a bow, I'm just gonna it's still quicker than or it's easier, I could probably jump on there actually, but I'm just gonna use a bow. So if for some reason you're out of arrows, I think you can just jump up on here and then jump up on here if you need to fight them, but we have a bow, so why not use it situationally? Sometimes you'll see a Reaper in the corners there where those guys spawn, so just check for that before you proceed ahead. Make sure they're not there. And then there's 2 skeletons in here, no Reapers at the moment. That's good. And so what I like to do here is just fight them. You could actually, I used to just run by them because they're a little slow to spawn, and I'd be around the corner by the time they're up, and they wouldn't even see me. But because in Reaper you have to have 10 kills, right? So it just makes sure we have our 10 kills uh, for Reaper. That guy you actually don't have to kill, but I went ahead and did it anyways. Once you're in the water, nothing follows you from up there. So what I used to do is just get those 2 skeletons. That would get me at 8. And then I'd come up here, and then if I somehow killed the boss first, um, it'd be the skeletons give you 10, and so you don't have to worry about the order you kill things at. But otherwise, if you don't kill those skeletons, you have to make sure you get Scorpions first. We don't get too much RXP from that one. I think 175, but we might get in the, I'm not sure how much, 50 or something, 60 for the next one, but that's fine. It's so quick. Don't see anything I really like there. I'm just going to grab this cloak for 2,000, repeat it. All right, so I'm going to get my poison item swap items on that I was really saving just for this quest because it's pretty brutal. Put this on. I'm going to go ahead and take this jump potion just to get out of my inventory. It's something I picked up along the way, and sometimes jumping might us. Help us. So let's. I think that jump made the difference there. Last time we took damage, and I think just using that jump potion, it's the little things like that that make a difference sometimes. But also, I jumped. I also jumped between them instead of trying to go the whole way this time, so that might have made the difference as well. But either way, all the poison stuff we added was certainly. I'm going to swap back to my regular items. All the poison damage prevention we added would hopefully keep us from dying if we did get into the trap. Uh, you can die in that trap. I've seen good players die in that trap. It's definitely not something you want to underestimate for sure. A lot of people just don't bother with the bridge. They just jump up. But I'm not a fan of that. Um, it's not so bad solo, but what happens is I run in groups, and then people do that, and people get left behind, and so it's no fun to I just generally don't like to leave people behind on quests. It takes all of about this. This is like a couple minute quest, so I'm not gonna leave people behind, so I could save 20 seconds with it. All right. I, yep. As I mentioned last time, I used to skip this guy and the next guy, and so I have 10 kills. I would instead have 8 kills. So um, unfortunately, then like we don't have to kill this guy now because we got the 2 skeletons. So I'm just gonna ignore him. So then I get there with 8 kills, kill the boss, and not get any Reaper XP because of that. So learned real quick just to make sure I had 10 going into this final fight. And the easiest way to do that is those 2 skeletons right there. Uh, they there might be a Reaper. If you get a Reaper before that, then you don't need to worry about them. But on one skull, yeah, there's always a good chance. I mean, so far we've seen no Reapers, and this is our second quest here. Got 175 the first run, 61 for the second run. Not bad, but if you figure we were already there, it wasn't too bad. So sonic resistance and fire absorb. I've got fire item. The sonic resistance is just not super appealing, so we're just going to sell that. See what we get in the end reward, and then that'll be it for this video. That's actually not a bad item for a healer or like a rogue assassin halfling that they have some their own some self healing in their racial tree. Spot +6. I'm sort of holding off till we get something better, like something with multiples on there, but um, that's somewhat interesting. Hmm. Okay, so here's something we would have liked to have before the quest. This is a named rare item. So there's a few items like this that this drop. This one is called uh, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Paraptive Proof of Poison. It gives a Proof of Poison +6, and if you compare that to the other level 5 item we had, our swap item was a level 3 item. It gave Proof of Poison +1. So this would be a great item to go ahead and wear in there. So it gives you immunity to natural poisons, which is good, and it gives you +6 to savings throws against magical poisons. So I always thought that that was a natural poison in there, but I did take damage with a proof of poison item on, so maybe it's not. So this is anyhow, this is a rare item. Nothing else is super appealing, so I'm going to grab this. This is pretty cool. That's the first thing like that we've had. Um, the ones you really want are these trinkets called Ion Stones. If we get one of those, we'll be super excited because we don't really have a good trinket right now, and those are great for past lives because you can make them, at higher levels you could buff them to a super high number, and then use them at level 5 in the future. So you get things like a +15 spot and search, those type of or spot or search, I forget which it is, but that's just a fantastic thing to have at level 5. All right, so that is Sunken Sewer.